Okay, it's the end of the session. I'm here with my buddy Ruby, and she's probably going to want to get down, but it looks better if I have a dog in my lap. And oh, the snow has started. I need to get back to Omaha quick. This is her roadmap to success. So basically, she is a Shiba Inu Husky mix, and those are very determined breeds of dogs. And she's a precocious, tiny little dog. She's 9 months old. She's still a puppy, but she's a little bit confused as her position in the house. So one of the things I like the Guardian to do is to increase her exercise. I showed you the stairs and I showed how to use a laser. Now some people watching this, their dog, it's not healthy to chase a laser. She really likes chasing it, but if she starts chasing it like getting manic about it, then you might want to discontinue doing that. And there's only so much of the laser you'll get. So don't use it too much. Try to toss the treat up and down the stairs. For the laser, remember, don't let her look at it in the pen, otherwise she'll stop looking for it. Okay, so exercising her when she gets quote unquote naughty, that's a good time to take her to the stairs and spend 2 to 5 minutes throwing treats up and down the stairs, or chasing the laser or playing fetch or whatever it is. Yes, you're probably not a fetching dog. And so that way she gets, to burn off that excess energy, she gets rambunctious, and you do that, she'll come in, she's more inclined to want to go to the dog bed or whatever it is. We went over a number of rules. One of the rules is not being allowed in the furniture. We're doing this because it looks better in the video. So remember, not allowed in the furniture for at least 30 days. If she gets up, toss 1 treat on the ground. When she goes down, licks it up, say the word off. Then get those X mats, the letter X, M-A-T-S. They're about 11, 12 bucks. Get a bunch of them at Amazon. You probably need 3 or 4 for here, 1 or 2 there, 1 or 2 there. Maybe some tinfoil for over there. So that way she doesn't get up on top of things. You might need to turn those stools upside down temporarily. Dogs form behavior patterns. After about a month of not doing something, they're less likely to do it. But if you let them break the rule halfway through it, you kind of reset your clock. So be pretty strict. Remember, enforcing a rule is not being mean. It's confusing the dogs to let them break the rules when you're teaching or modifying their behavior. Okay, because of the outside, we have a lot of wonderful windows and it's great views in this house, but she likes to go look and be a guard dog, and she likes to go look out the windows. So one of the things you might want to do is cover the bottom windows, and remember to put it on the outside of the window, not on the inside of the window, with just white paper. And that way she goes to the windows and she can't see out. She can't get in the furniture. She can't see out the top of the window, but the humans can. So I do them around here and out there as well, so she doesn't have an opportunity to practice what we don't want. Let me see. Set up a long-term confinement area in the spare bedroom. And so that way it's a place for her to go. She should sleep in there. She should be fed in there. There you go. You get them all. There we go. When she gets really mouthy and bitey, that often means they're cranky, and that's the time to go in there as well. And fill it up with at least 20 different toys and a variety of different toys so that she can actually chew and play with them. A lot of times you can message me about the woman, about the play gate. You can use those. And then basically, you put the kennel in there as well and attach the walls to the kennel. Unless she's able to jump onto the kennel and get out, then you might have to put some sort of barricade to prevent her from jumping up there. But I like to do that so the kennel doesn't take up the area. There's not a ton of square footage in there. And if she does climb out of it, a lot of times what I'll do is get plexiglass. When they climb out of it, they're kind of using a ladder effect. So the very top horizontal bar, I put plexiglass on the inside, blocking access to that last bar. So they jump up, but they can't get to that rung, and that'll stop them from doing it. Also, don't ever lift her over it. Make sure she always goes to the gate, otherwise you're teaching her to go over it. And that's a really beneficial thing to do if you can set that long term. After about a month or 2, usually if it's younger, so it might be a little bit older for her, but it also helps her with separation anxiety. A lot of these dogs develop separation anxiety. They're always with us. Well, when she's in there, get some bully bites or some bully sticks or marrow bones. When she goes in there, the first couple times she goes in there, you should go in there with her. Yes, are you being rambunctious? And so go in there with her, grab your iPad or a book and your son, and just kind of hang out in there and close the gate and give her a bully stick or a marrow bone. Let her get into it. When she gets finished, get up and leave with her. So the first 2 or 3 times she goes in there, she gets very good positive experiences, and you're there with her, so it doesn't look like anything that she shouldn't want to do. And then after a while, then what you want to do is go in there with her, give her the marrow bone or the bully stick, let her chew on it, and give her about a minute or 2 to get into it. Then come out of the play area, close the gate behind you with her inside, and sit down with the fence right here. Sit down right next to it and sit there and read. And so she gets used to practice being in there without you in the immediate area. Do that a couple times until she pretty much goes back to the bully stick right away. And don't let her take the bully stick or the marrow bone out of the area. So she only gets it in that area. Okay. And sometimes I'll go in there and with the gate closed, I'll just take treats and I'll just throw them in the area with the gate closed. So she's like, let me in here, damn it. There's a whole bunch of treats in there. Creating that longing to go in. And when she goes in there, come up with a fun word. call it ponderosa or some word that means to go inside there. And that way we create a positive association for her. And again, when you're outside, when you transition it where you're outside, you're right up against it. And then next time you're a little bit further away, maybe an inch or two, and then a couple inches, and then another couple inches. And you're gonna keep on doing that. Yes, I'm gonna get you I know what I can get you. I'm gonna give you some chicken bark. You'll stay here for chicken bark. And the idea is to help her practice being in there, but she has to be calm while she's in there, not excitable. And then you gradually move further and further away, and she's more engrossed, and she's just so relaxed, she gets more and more engrossed into chewing on the marrow bone or whatever it is, and she practices being in that area calm. Now, you also, when you take our puppy classes, if you ask the instructor about a treat dispensing ball, I would feed her out of those for about a month in there. So we have a ball, it's like a soccer ball. They have to nudge it just right to get a little bit of it to fall out, and then she eats it up, and she nudges a little bit more. It'll make her earn her food, which will make her feel better about herself, but also take longer. So it might take 20 minutes to eat her food. Well, that's a good way to get her, after she's eating for a minute or two, you kind of quietly leave the room, and now she's in there, and then she gets done, and there's a bully stick. Well, I'll lay down and chew the bully stick, and then there's no humans to complain to. I lay down and take a nap. So now I'm practicing being in there, be calm. And so get a security camera so you can look at it on your phone. You can watch it for your home computer if you're working from home. And that way she gets an opportunity to be in there. You can supervise, make sure she's okay. She has an accident. It's all contained. It's all good. All right, we also went over potty training. So for potty training, make sure that she goes in that we take her outside, come up with a new word like business or dump, whatever you want to use, and take her out on a leash, and then just don't tell her to do it. Take her to the area. And if she doesn't want to go, again, get some of these high-value treats, make sure they're warm, toss it a foot in front, let her go to get that one, then toss the next one. And then you might want to do that little ramekin of some warm water with some of her dry kibble and swirl it around so when she gets to the area, it's potty area, well, there's a little snack. And so she gets a little bit of the snack, and then, oh, this is the area I poop. Right now, she doesn't like going outside because of how cold it is. But after we provide enough reinforcement, she just run around because she knows that little, yes, we know that little thing of kibble stew is going to be over there waiting for her. Now remember, so as soon as she starts pure poop, we say the word business, or whatever the word is. When she gets done, we pop the treat in her mouth and say business. And anytime we give a treat, always say the command word after it goes in her mouth. Okay. Say business again. Then if you can, take her for a walk just 1 or 2 houses down this road and back. For a lot of us, we let our dog go outside at potties and we bring it inside, and they're like, but I want to stay outside. Now, she doesn't ideally. If she wants to go back inside, that's fine. But most dogs like walking. Now, I think if you give her some booties, they'll really help. Now, the booties that are like high-top booties are ideal because they don't twist around as much. A lot of times they'll be flipped up backwards. But that might protect her paws, and that might make her more inclined to want to be outside. Her coach, she should like to be outside. She's part of Alaskan Klee. And so, but for a week, and what you might also do is give her like a jackpot. Give her one business, give her like 3 or 5 treats every time she potties outside, like maybe 5 if she poops and 3 if she pees for the first week. Okay. And I also try to take them out once an hour, just if they're in the right place at the right time. And then this, we have the puppy pad. Well, we had a puppy pad over here. She just used it, so it got fligged up. But when we do want to transition outside, what we want to do is move it a little bit closer to the door each time, maybe just an inch or 2. And sometimes people get frustrated because at some point it'll be in the middle of your walking space. But it's just, they won't notice if it's gradual. If you just move from here to way over there, they won't go. But if she gets used to doing it, eventually she'll go into the door. Now, I also went over in the video above how to use classical conditioning and make her move away from the door. But when she does get to the door, and you're going to take her outside for a potty, once she's potty trained, so don't do it when you're potty trained, but when she's done, go to the door and have the leash holding it and say, sit. If she sits, then put the martingale and the special twists around the leash. If she doesn't sit within 3 seconds, walk away, sit down somewhere, wait for 1 minute, then go back and tell her again 1 time. Only say commands once. If you say it multiple times, she's like, I listen the 9th time she says a command. So you do the command, and then I'll put the leash on you. After you sit, then we'll open the door and we'll go outside. If you don't sit, then I walk away and I lose interest in the walk. Now, some other rules: not being allowed in the kitchen when we're cooking, not being allowed any humans when they're eating. Let me see, what else? Other rules. When she's on her dog bed or in the kennel, the child should not be allowed to go get the dog. That should be a safe zone for her to go to, because he's rambunctious and he's in an age where he wants to play and probably plays with her at times when she doesn't want to. And she sometimes goes and hides behind the parents' legs. Well, we want her to know, if I go here, I'm on base. Now, I also went over a special way to motivate your kids to help you with your dogs by using a little bit of a reward for the kids. Message me if you forget how to do that. I'm not going to go through it in this video because if you're somebody who wants to do that, you're going to have to hire me, and I'll show you how to do it, right?
There, that's right.
Okay, you need a little bit more chicken, Mark, I see. So do that, but I mean, really, maybe tomorrow would be a great day to create the vessel. And then now you have him helping you train the dog. And again, give him 10 treats, 5 treats, tear them in half, have him go over there and tossing him on the dog bed like we just talked about. And remember to put a Post-it note over the dog bed, over the kennel, by the door, anywhere there are rules so the dog knows what they are. And then basically, and do the same thing with the kennel. Toss those treats in, get one of those liner mats for the kennel. So it's a kennel liner. It's a mat, and it'll have like a roll around the side. And you'll have to measure the kennel to be exactly fitting right. Now, she doesn't like going through a certain door, so just go rep the heck out of that. Get a bunch of treats, open the door. As soon as you open the door, throw a treat right inside the room. And when she runs in, say kitchen. And then let her come back out, close the door, take 2 feet away, walk back to it, open it again, throw another treat. After a while, you open the door and she'll just zoom right in. And you can say kitchen and she'll go right in. Yes, won't you? Yes, you will. All right, she's getting a little rambunctious, so we'll switch over here so I can be a right handy. Okay, let me see, what else? We talked about exercise, feeding. Make sure that now again, if you go to the treat ball, that's a little different, but when you get back to the point where you're putting food in a bowl, you need to eat something first, and after you eat, then you give her permission to eat. And if she doesn't eat, or she walks and sniffs the bowl, walks away, pick up the bowl, dump it empty, put the empty bowl back on the floor. It's important to put the empty bowl back on the floor. So you eat after I eat, when I give you permission to eat, and after that, there's no food again until the next meal. And she might go a day or 2 without eating. That's okay. Don't cheat, because hunger becomes your ally. We also went over petting with a purpose and passive training. Remember, petting with a purpose is when she comes up and jumps up on you, which she does a lot. We're going to stop petting her, tell her to sit. All right, we're going to let you down. Hold on. We'll give you a little more bark and we'll finish this up. So when she demands attention, we're going to tell her to sit or to lay down. She's already laying down, sitting here, ask her to sit on this side. And when she does it, then we will pet her under her chin. We're going to say this word sit and nothing else. Then we pet her as much as we want after that. Now, paychecks, it means we suspect someone's petting without a purpose. So someone says paycheck, I would stop petting her, tell her to sit, pet her under her chin and say sit, and then tell the person, actually, I asked her to sit before you came in the room, you missed it. And we just won't realize how often we pet without a purpose. And even if you just want to pet her, still make sure that she sits or does something to earn it. After a while, she will prepay for it. When she does, make sure we do pet and recognize her, otherwise she'll go back to the jumping up. Yeah, don't shake it off, because you will. And then we're also going to use passive training. Passive training is basically waiting for her to organically, voluntarily offer you a behavior. Every time she comes to you, pet her and say, come. Every time she lays down, pet her and say, sit, or crash, or whatever your word is. All right, hold on. There we go. You're done with chicken, Mark? One more for the road. There we go. Remember the come exercise? So holding your hand like this with a treat, with your fingers curled up before you call her. And at first be about 7 feet apart, and let Kyler point to mom and dad who's doing next, or I'm going to do it. So you hold your hand like this, and when I'll show you, she's over here. So I hold it in, I say, Ruby. If she doesn't come, I lower my hand, and then I raise it over her head to put her in a sit, and I lower it, let her lick it off, and I would say the word come, and then I tickle under her chin. This way, we're always going to give her the tickle. Sometimes she gets a treat, sometimes she doesn't. But after a while, this becomes I'm coming to that hand, because every time I see that hand, there's a treat in it. So that's passive training. So every time she does things on her own, name all of her toys. When she takes her first bite of food, call it sushi, or whatever your favorite word is. Then you create a command word. Every time she takes a drink of water, her poop was pretty solid, so you probably need her to drink more. So every time she drinks water, say the word agua, or H2O, or whatever it is. And so you create a command word. Every time she does it on her own, she's drinking and she hears water in her mouth, and then she hears the word agua. Well, they'd already say agua, and she's like, oh yeah, I am thirsty. Sometimes they don't realize it, and she goes over and drinks some. But setting up that long-term confinement area, I think, is going to be huge. So message me about, if I haven't, message me about that woman, and I will probably be, as soon as I get done with this, I'll probably just forward you her email and let you guys hash it out yourselves. But getting one of those will just make it into, like again, she should sleep in there. She should eat in there, and anytime you can't supervise her, that's where she goes, and there's a whole bunch of great stuff in there. That way she wants to go in there. After a while, it'll help her practice being alone. Let me think, is there anything else we want to go over? I think that's pretty much it. But if we forgot anything, you have my cell phone number. Just call me at any time. Texting is the fastest way to reach me. Okay. I get so many emails. If you email me, it might take me a week to get back to you as a text. I'll get that. See that right away. Okay. Well, this is Ruby, and this is Ruby's roadmap to success. Remember, everything you do trains your dog. Sit, only sometimes you mean it.